Okay, today I thought I'd do a little unboxing video and light review of the Sofirn IF25A. It's a flashlight that I bought off eBay and had it delivered just a few minutes ago. Actually, I was really excited to get this in the mail. I've been waiting for a few weeks now. I thought this one would ship from Australia, but it's actually shipped from China. But it did take considerably less time than I thought. I thought I'd be waiting about a month or so for it to arrive. So quite happy. I bought this one because I recently bought this other light here, the Sofirn SST-20, and I was really impressed at the general build quality, the functionality of the light, the brightness of the LED as well. This one here has an SST-40 LED. Let me just move up a little bit further so you can see. So it's just a single LED in there with a smooth reflector. Puts out 2000 lumens according to the spec sheet. I think it is actually a little bit lower than that in practice, but it's pretty bright, and it runs on a 21700 battery. So this one actually runs on the same configuration, the same battery, but it has 4 SST-20 emitters. Also has the same battery, 21700 battery. I think these are great batteries because I used to use the 18650 batteries predominantly before I started buying torches again recently. So I found that these batteries have a much higher draw rate, so you can pass more current to the emitters, and they've also got a lot more capacity than the 18650s. So considering that they're almost the same size, I'm really quite impressed. So anyway, this one here has some TIR optics, and we'll go through it and I'll open it up. It looks like the box, as you can see, it's pretty basic. It's a pretty basic sort of box. You know, it's been knocked up a little bit probably on the trip over to Australia. But nothing special. It's very similar to the other one that I got. You've got the Sofirn light company website over here, and let's have a look. And I actually got recommended this one here on a forum. I just had a bit of a read through some of the reviews, and was quite impressed at what the light had to offer. Considering that it was only about $40 to $50. So let's take this one out. Let's have a look what's in the box. So you have a little manual here. You've got the IF25A Anduril 2.0 manual. Now, this light has a special UI, and it was actually, I had no idea about this until recently, but one of the forums, the BLF forum, apparently they have a member there that actually put together this UI, and Sofirn actually integrated it into quite a number of their torches. So it's really good to see that the company actually works so closely with the flashlight community. So let me just see. How do I? Oh, that's why it's underneath. So it comes with the lanyard. This must be for using an 18650 battery. Sometimes they just use this. Give you one of these little plastic sleeves to insert inside. This should come with a battery already in it. Fingers crossed it does. Has a little tag here. It says read me. Let me just see if the camera will focus. Oops. Okay, so it says read me, insulation paper. So let me take that off. Doesn't come with a clip. So that's interesting. I'm used to it having a clip. Though it looks like there's a couple of places here that would potentially take a clip. So I could try that one on, but it does look a bit thicker. Interesting. So it doesn't have a clip. Let's have a look at it compared to the Sofirn SP35. It's almost like an inch shorter. It's almost about an inch shorter. So, I mean, it's quite impressive considering that this one has an output of 3,800 lumens. And actually, I think when it was tested on one of the review websites, I looked at it, actually put out 4,200 lumens when it's first turned on. When you use another battery, though, one of these Samsung 30T batteries, I think it is, so one of those high draw batteries. But really impressed so far. I mean, it's got a nice weight to it, and look at that. It fits straight in the palm of your hands. Like this one here is pretty good. It does stick out, jut out a little bit, but this one really does fit right in the palm of your hands there. And it's the TIR optics that actually allows you to do that. It just shortens the head of the torch. So it's a little bit chunkier on the head as well, as you can see, and there's some little cooling fins, which I really like. I think that increases the surface area, especially with so many lumens being pumped through. I can imagine this thing would step down quite quickly. So let me just move some of this stuff off. So it does come with a charging cable. Clickety click. Nice little firm click there. It's kind of got a rubberized button. I do like this button. I have also another torch, and that's the Immolent MS03 that I bought recently. And you can see the button here. I mean, compared to the MS03, it's a very similar size. It's just probably a little bit smaller on the head than the MS03. So I quite like this size. It's very convenient to carry around. Though I did find this one a bit awkward to put in the pocket at times. It's a bit wider, the head. But as you can see, the button here on the MS03 is this kind of a stainless steel button, and it wiggles around a lot. This one has looks like to be some kind of metal ring there. Could be some aluminium ring, and then the button, which is encased, that's encased right in the center there. So I do like this rubberized button. It doesn't move around much. I'm having a look at the anodization. It's very similar to what we've got on the Immolent MS03, also to the SP35. I'd say it's almost a little bit has a little bit more of a gloss finish compared to these two, but similar quality. And I know it's made of aircraft grade aluminium. Anodized aluminium. I can't remember what the specs were. You can probably go and look them up. But if you look underneath the hood, let's have a look here. You can see there's actually 4 emitters. So that's what I was talking about before. These 4 SST-20 emitters, and they all have their individual TIR optics in there, which is really quite amazing. I don't think I have any other flashlights with TIR optics, but interesting. Let's have a look at the battery. I think there's a little protective thingamo inside. The screws, the threads are lubricated very well, and they're square cut as well. Really important. I'm just so amazed at the quality of these torches these days. I used to come from a time where if you're getting a budget torch, any of these ultra fire, whatever fire torches, you'd have all these scrawny sort of threads on there that would just be hanging off maybe a couple of turns, and they'd wear out pretty easily. But even the threads here anodized, they're lubricated very well. That was the little insulating bit of paper there. They usually ship them over that way. So it comes with one of these Sofirn batteries in it, 4,000 milliamp hour battery. And I think this one is actually a bit different, because I had this in the Sofirn 35. I had this one. I think this is so this one's actually 5,000 milliamp hour, and this one's a 4,000 milliamp hour battery. So it has a slightly less capacity, reduced capacity compared to this one. It's just shipped in that way. I don't know how much of a difference that's going to make in terms of the actual draw. But obviously it's going to last a little bit less when you have it running for an extended duration. So interesting that they're both also the same size, these batteries. So I wonder why they didn't include the 5,000 milliamp hour battery in there, and assuming also that it is quite a intensive, power intensive light, even more intensive than the 35, the Sofirn SP35. I had to look at that model for a second. So the tail cap looks really nice. Got a strong spring there. It's gold. I don't know. It's just a gold. Maybe it's gold plated. I'm not sure, but it looks pretty well machined. I wonder if I can twist off the head of it. Oh, you can. That's really good that you can do that. And just sort of separate it out if you need to. And let's have a look. I don't think there's a way maybe to get inside the head of it. Oh, actually, it does open. This little ring on top. That's unusual. Usually they stop you from getting in. I think that's great for people who are enthusiasts and want to learn, you know, how the torches work or to replace the LEDs and stuff like that. I think having the ability to actually take off the have a look inside the emitters and get access to the pill, I think that's really a great feature. And I wasn't expecting that to come off like that. And it screws on just so that the Sofirn branding is above the button as well. So you can see they've certainly planned this one out nicely. I'm really impressed at the quality of this one. It goes about $50. I had a little voucher and I got a 10% off for that one. Nice little contact area underneath. All the threads are lubricated very well. So I can't remember which way I had this on. Oh, here we go. I've got it this way. So let's screw everything back on. Smooth action there. Okay, let's screw on the tail cap. And this operating system UI or what have you here, I'm very unfamiliar with it, and I was actually a bit intimidated by it just looking online. There's so many functions available. As you can see here, you know, you click once, I think you click and hold and it does something. If you press 10, click it 15 times, it does a version check. What else? There's just a whole bunch of things here. I'm actually gonna have to download a larger version of that to have a look. But I'll do some beam shots and stuff like that later. And I do notice it's actually glowing a little bit. The battery's in, and there's a status light here. It's just got these two little green lights. And it's probably hard to see, but two little green lights there. And I think you might even be able to change the color of those lights later on. I love the weight of it. It's balanced so well. Yeah, balances so well in the hand, and it's just amazing that something like this can put out, you know, 4,000 lumens potentially. And the battery that it comes with, I don't think, according to the reviews, that it actually gets up to that 4,000 lumens. It may, from what I saw, it tops out about 3,000 lumens. But yeah, it will be interesting to see, because I know some of the reviews out there, they go back all the way to 2020. So I wonder if they've changed things in this one, if it's the same UI, or you know, maybe it's been updated. But yeah, it's really nice. I love the switch. You can even let's have a look here. There's a little USB-C charging port and a nice seal as well there. It's IPX8 water resistant, I believe. Oh, it's really hard to get this one. Really hard to get that one back in. It forms a nice sort of seal though. So I'm going to have a little bit of a read of this and try to figure out how to use this torch. This is again one of the most complex UIs I've probably used in a torch. The other ones that I have are very simple. So yeah, I'd be interested to see what this one offers. Just going to do a quick little beam shot here. This is the Sofirn IF25A, and we're going to pop it straight on to one of the lowest modes. Okay, I've got it on a kind of ramping mode, so you can't see anything. This is roughly about 100 meters, probably about 100 and something meters in front of us where those boats are. Can't see anything really. So if I ramp that up, let's just hold that button down and let's see how we go. And that's on the top of the ramp. It might be difficult to see on camera, but it's illuminating those boats right at the end, and even the buildings you can see in the distance, just slightly illuminating those buildings. It's quite amazing. I'll say, geez, that's 200 something meters there in the background. Okay, I'm going to turn that off, and we'll turn it on to just the turbo mode. So we it has the Anduril 2 firmware on it, UI. So I'm just going to activate that, and it's a little bit brighter than the highest mode. but super impressive. I mean, for a torch of this size. Okay, so here I am back at home, and I want to go through just some finishing words, I suppose, some pros and cons, some things that I liked about the torch, some things that I didn't like about it. I've used it for a number of days now, and I thought I'll go through some of these things because I have done the beam shots already. Now, one of the things I noticed is that the torch doesn't come with a clip, and it was very awkward sort of carrying it in my pocket. So I actually grabbed a clip that I have from my SP35. This is the Sofirn SP35, and that slots on quite nicely here. I think I'll have to buy another one to just replace this, the SP35, because it does feel a little bit weird without it, but it does make it a lot more comfortable to carry around in your pocket with this clip. I tend to just put it on the edge of my pocket, otherwise it sort of moves around inside the pocket, and you can risk having it turn on and stuff like that. So I wish they'd included something, definitely something like that. The overall construction, I think, is really impressive. I especially like this button, this sort of silver ring behind the button. The button's very sturdy. It's large as well, so it's got this kind of rubberized feel on it. In terms of the UI, it was something that really, I don't know, it was something that made me think about whether I wanted to buy this torch or not, because it does have that Anduril custom UI on it, and I found after some time of using it, actually it's quite simple. There are a lot of modes in there, and things like temperature, ambient temperature, room temperature adjustment that I haven't played around with yet, but you know, there's things like all the blink strobe modes, which are just incredible. Like you can have you can even have it on like candle mode, so it imitates a candle. It sort of flickers, makes the light sort of flicker on top, the LEDs flicker. You know, you've got this tactical strobe mode, and you can actually alter how fast the strobing is as well, the strobing effect, as well as the brightness of the strobe. So there are just so many options inside the UI. You don't have to use them all. I think the most easiest setting is, you know, it's shipped with simple mode. So basically, you turn the light on, and then you just press and hold down, up and down to just ramp the light on and off. Double tap for high, and then double tap again for double click from off, and then double click again to activate turbo. So you know, you can even have momentary turbos, so click and click and hold the second click for momentary turbo. You can change whether this light flashes or not. You can 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, I think it is, so 7 taps, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. You can have like a bright 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So there's so many options in here that I haven't even completely explored yet. You can even check the version number, how much battery life is left. It sort of blinks, and I'm sure it indicates something. I've just got to read the manual. But definitely don't be turned off by the complicated UI. You can switch to a more simple UI mode, or you don't even need to use the you know, the more trickier UI modes in there. But definitely I have found that candle mode to be really relaxing. I actually put something on top, like a bit of cellophane, or just a bit of, you know, a little bottle of watercolor or something like that, and you can change that light, and it looks quite nice to sort of put in your room. So yeah, I suppose that's what I think about the UI. I really, out of all the torches that I bought recently, just these EDC torches, I find that I'm carrying this one around quite often, and the reason being is that it's just the size of it. Now, some people say that the head is a little bit thicker, and it can be tricky to carry it around compared to, say, the Sofirn 35, and that's definitely a consideration if you want something that slips into your pocket a little bit more easily. Again, the Sofirn 35 has a bit of a bit more length on it, and the beam is the hotspot is a lot smaller than the IF25A, but this one here, the IF25A, produces a lot more light. and I can definitely notice that when I'm just out doing some beam shots. It produces significantly more light, but just cast in a wider in a wider hotspot. Now, the battery that I'm using in it is actually one provided by Sofirn, and from the reviews, actually, if you use one of those Samsung, I think the Samsung 40Ts, that has a high draw capacity of 35 amps, you can actually get 4,200 lumens out of this thing on turbo. So the battery that comes with this one apparently, tests. I just read a review on 1 lumen. It maxes out at about 3,000 lumens on turbo. So that's a significant amount of extra lumens if you do get one of those batteries. So it's something I've been thinking about. I find the Beam very useful in terms of just how much light, that wall of light that it generates, 3,000 plus lumens. It's got a warmer color temperature as well, which I think, for me anyway, it's a bit easier on the eyes. It looks a bit more pleasant. There is reduced lumen output, I think, from this sort of color range, but still, I mean, this is a huge amount of lumens that it produces. And a bonus thing as well is just how far it can throw, and up to I think over 150 meters. This thing, I was just using it nearby in a park and reserve, and could certainly see from one side to the other, and especially if you've got all the lights out. I mean, this thing is just amazing for the size of it, to produce that much light. And also, I did find that after using it for some time, the head gets pretty hot. It doesn't really travel down here. I mean, I reckon I had to just sort of hold it around here. After some time, the head does get really hot, but the light starts to ramp down in brightness in order to just protect the electronics. So that all happens by itself. And I find this is just the perfect balance, and the size, in terms of the throw and the flood, just having that high output turbo mode, the value that you get out of something like this, that's just $40 to $50. I don't know how much it is now, but I think I paid about $47 for it online, and I'm just really happy with it. It's I can't say how long term how long it will last, but Sofirn does provide a 1-year warranty. Contacted them the other day, so definitely would recommend this one.